Jeannie out of the bottle. Barbara Eden's here with me now. Barbara, an extraordinary book, an amazing life. When you look at that photo of yourself, this is the great iconic Jeannie, what do you think?
Oh, I like her. I like her. She's easy to live with. She really is. I look at it. It's like looking at someone else.
Is it? Yeah.
It's not me.
But you feel nostalgic, or you feel affectionate? How do you feel?
I feel very content. Very content. I like her.
Because without that character, your life would have been very different, probably.
Probably. If I hadn't signed at 20th Century Fox, I would have had a different life also. I mean, it's, you never know. You just follow the path, follow the yellow brick road. What's
the secret to survival in Hollywood? Well, here you are, you're in your whisper it quiet, your 7th decade. What's the trick? What's the trick to just keep going?
I think you have to like your work. I really love my work. I love to work. And it doesn't matter what kind of part I play, or even now how much I get paid. I just like to do it.
You do it for nothing, probably.
Probably. Probably. I haven't yet, but...
You actually joined Twitter recently, I hear.
Yes, I did.
Do you like it?
Yes, very confusing.
I mean, my mother's almost caught up with the internet, but I don't think I can't get her on Twitter yet. She finds it too difficult.
Well, it's difficult. It is difficult. I must admit, I have a wonderful husband who helps out. He helps out a lot.
But do you feel like that the way to combat the aging process is to do stuff that's kind of hip and modern and to keep up with the kids, if you like?
Well, I don't know about doing things on purpose that are hip and modern. I think doing things that give you joy is what keeps you alive and keeps you interested in life and people.
Did doing the book bring you joy?
No. No, I can't say that.
And by writing the book, of course, people will read this, and I'm sure you'll get lots of letters from people saying how much you talking about things that have happened to you will help them, because they don't have that kind of platform. I've seen that many times with people, because you've been through great triumph, but also terrible tragedy in your life as well.
Yes, but it's not unique. It's not unique, and that's what I think people should know. It happens to all of us.
Did you always want to be a star?
No.
What did you want to be?
I wanted to be a working actress.
Right, so a different thing.
Totally different thing.
And have you remained the same? Or when you become a star, does it become so intoxicating that actually you start to think, actually, I quite like being a star as well?
Are you sure you're talking to the right person? I'm not a star.
Oh, you'd be a star.
I don't consider myself a star.
Oh, no, there's no question. You're a huge star.
Well, I'm well known. I'm not I'm not twinkling, but...
No, but I mean, you've had moments of being one of the biggest TV stars in the country.
Well, yes.
So, I mean, that's what a star is.
Yes.
You never had much as a family, just reading the book. It wasn't like you were sort of in acute poverty compared to something like, India or something, but you certainly didn't have a silver spoon lifestyle. You weren't born into Hollywood riches, were you?
No, I came from a working class family. My father worked for the telephone company. And when I was about 10, my mother went back to work as a credit manager in San Francisco, and they just made ends meet. They really did. And then I started working when I was 13. And went to school and went to work 4 hours like that.
And early on, you met Marilyn Monroe, and you ended up sharing a body double, didn't you, or something?
Well, my stand-in was from the time I did a television show called How to Marry a Millionaire, which coincidentally Marilyn did the film.
Of course.
But because I was under contract to Fox, they put me in the television series, and I met Evelyn Moriarty there, and she became my stand-in. This was long before I had done any feature films. And then she went with me over to Fox and was my stand-in at Fox. And while she was there, she was introduced to Marilyn and started working with her. Because when you work in feature films, generally, you're not doing 6 months a year like you do in a television show constantly. So she was able to jump back and forth, between the two of us.
How did you feel? There you are. You've got somebody who's actually playing you and Marilyn Monroe. It's pretty cool, isn't it?
Yeah. Well, it was pretty cool for Evie and for me, too, to know that Evie was working for Marilyn.
Did you meet Marilyn?
I did.
What was she like?
She was the most beautiful thing I have ever seen in person. She glowed. I think she was a little bit like Elvis Presley, you know. She was in her, unfortunately, but she was a huge success, but she could have been much more, so could he.
Didn't Elvis have a candle for you at one stage?
No, not really. He said he did, but he didn't. I did a film with him, yes, and we enjoyed talking together a lot.
But never any further?
No hanky-panky. Darn.
But he did. He came out and said he wanted to, didn't he?
No, many years later, he went to my husband and said, "How did you get her? We all tried to do it, and we couldn't." You know.
But how does that make you feel? When you look back on your life and you have this, you know, one minute you're hanging out with Marilyn Monroe, next minute you've got the King saying that he wished he'd got together with you. Pretty extraordinary stuff, isn't it?
Yes, it is. It is. And that's what keeps you young.
Is it?
Yes. It's different things happening all the time.
Who was the most handsome of the heartthrobs you worked with? Because you worked with them all, from Paul Newman and onwards.
Yeah, well, Paul Newman.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Joan Collins said the same thing to me.
Oh, yes, she would. Did she?
Yeah.
Really?
And I said, you can name any of them. Her and Jackie came in, and I said, come on, who was the #1 heartthrob? And then she said Paul Newman.
And just the nicest gentleman. Just the kindest. I was scared to death because to do that scene with him, I hadn't done a lot, and here was Paul Newman. And the first thing he said to me was, well, finally there's an actress I can look down on. Because I'm pretty short, and I guess he is too. But
great man, wasn't he?
Yes, yes. Years later, which isn't in my book, my husband and I went to the races, the car races, and they took some photos with Paul and myself, and I didn't say anything because I didn't want to be one of those, do you remember when, you know? And he looked over and said, I remember you, Barbara.
Really?
You've done very well. Yes, yes.
Oh, a lovely moment.
Wasn't he sweet?
Yeah.
I mean, really.
Well, what an amazing memory, too.
Yes, yes.
We'll have a short break. When we come back, I want to talk to you about the sort of downside of the fame that you've had and some of the low points in your life that you talk about in the book.
Uh-oh.
Sorry.